And we're back. So far I've been filming vlogs on our expat lifestyle, traveling abroad, living abroad, different adventures that we've gotten to go on over here, and that's been super fun. But I was so excited that I got a great response on Instagram, and a lot of people were interested in a video on how to travel on a budget. Traveling is obviously something I'm extremely passionate about as someone who lives overseas and has been traveling internationally for, I guess, 7 years now. So I love it. I love it so much, and I would love it even more if the things I've learned along the way could help you guys get out and travel either your home states, your home country, or the world that you live in. So I would love it if this got to help you guys. All right, so in this video, we're gonna look at 4 different things. We're gonna look at lifestyle and the mindset you need going into traveling on a budget. Second, we're gonna look at how do you get where you wanna go. Third, we're gonna look at where do you stay when you get there. And fourth, what to do when you get there. So without further ado, let's get started. First things first, we're gonna talk about lifestyle. Traveling on a budget isn't something that just happens overnight. You don't just wake up with money in your bank account and enough to travel internationally. Traveling on a budget requires a specific mindset. You're going to need to think about how to save up money to travel. Your time spent traveling, how are you gonna have money to do what you're gonna do? Are you going to be staying for a long period of time? Is it just gonna be a few days? If it's gonna be longer than a few days, maybe you're gonna need a little bit of income to sustain you. So these are all things that you're gonna need to think about. And if you're traveling on a budget, you're probably not gonna be staying at 5-star resorts, and you're probably not gonna be having a super luxurious trip where you don't have a thing to think about or a care in the world. It takes work, it takes time, it takes dedication. You're gonna have to prioritize your life according to the things that you want to do, whether that's traveling or something else. So if you want to learn to travel on a budget, you're gonna need to prioritize that. Now that we have the right mindset, our expectations when we travel, we are prioritizing saving money for traveling. We also need to think about, can we have a flexible job that's gonna be able to allow us to work from home or from wherever we wanna travel to? While we're traveling, that allows for us to have income. There are options available. There are side gigs. If you're in the States and you're an English speaker, you can be teaching English and making $10 an hour. It doesn't take too much. It does take a little bit of time. Again, prioritizing and dedication, but that's definitely an option, and you can do that from anywhere in the world. And lastly, in this category, we're going to talk about connections. If you're shy and it's difficult to make friends, trust me, I get it. I can relate to that. But if you're willing to put yourself out there, making connections on places like Instagram is really gonna help you get where you wanna go and get there within your budget. If you want to go anywhere in the world or anywhere in the country, find people who are already there who can give you advice on what they've done to make it happen. Say you wanna go to Morocco. You can look up on Instagram people who are living in Morocco and you can reach out to them. I guarantee you, most expats, most people living abroad love talking about their life. They love talking about this thing that they've achieved that they're so passionate about. They wouldn't be living there if they didn't really want to. Most of these people are gonna love talking about their experience. They're gonna love talking about this country that they've moved to, that they obviously love, and they're gonna love talking about the experiences that they've had, the things that they've done that they liked, the crazy stories of things that they did that they didn't like, because trust me, they've got a lot of them. There's gonna be all kinds of things that they're gonna be willing to share with you, and maybe you'll make a lifelong friend. I've made friends on Instagram that we invited over for Christmas a couple years ago. We didn't know them from Adam, never met them before. We only knew them from Instagram, and it was a great time. We hosted a big party, a lot of people came, hardly anyone knew each other beforehand, and everyone had a great time sharing stories of their travels, things that they aspire to do, things that they've done. People learned a lot from each other. It was a great time. That's one of the beautiful things about traveling that I'm so passionate about, is I get to meet people who also love traveling. They also love the country that we're all in. Everyone's come here because they have similar interests that drew them to this place, but they're all coming from different backgrounds and all have different things to share together. So don't be afraid of social media. It can really be a great tool in helping you make friends and making your travel experience worthwhile. So don't be afraid of it. Don't be shy. You're probably gonna make amazing connections that you're gonna be really grateful for down the road. It'll be so worth the initial awkwardness of, hey, you don't know me at all, but I'm really interested in your life. Can you please tell me about it? It's not weird, it's not awkward. It may feel like that to you, but trust me, it's probably gonna make someone's day, and it's really gonna be worthwhile to you in the long run. So second, how to get where you want to go. You can take a car, you can rent a car, you can take a bus, you can take a train, you can take a plane. Sometimes it can save you money if you rent a car from where you live to an international airport if you don't live near one. Sometimes that can be cheaper than buying an in-country flight to the international airport. If you want to take a bus, I recommend taking the overnight bus. I always take the overnight bus where I live. It saves me time and it saves me energy and it can save me money. If I'm spending the night on a bus, I have a place to sleep and the cost is included in my cost of transportation. I'm not wasting daylight sitting on a bus looking out the window when I could be out there doing the things that I want to do. And it saves you energy because you get to sleep while that transportation's happening and you're not being drained by the transportation process itself. All right, and the big thing that most people are concerned about is how to book a flight and how to get the best prices. I've been traveling, like I said, for about 7 years now, so I've definitely learned a thing or two about how to find cheap flights. I always use Skyskanner, always. I found amazing flights and amazing deals through them. What I do is I'll search where I'm flying from, and instead of putting in a specific destination, I'll put in everywhere. Even if I know the destination that I want to go to, but also if you're flexible, you just want to go somewhere, you want to have an experience outside of your normal routine, search everywhere. And then it's going to give you a list of all these different countries and which ones are the cheapest to fly to. So whether you're looking at a specific destination or you're open to going anywhere, make sure to search everywhere in the destination box. Also, even if you have a specific time that you want to travel, make sure to put in your to and from flights, whole month, and then select cheapest month. It'll show you a whole calendar of the cheapest days to fly, the most expensive days to fly. Kind of, you can get a sense of what the pattern is, or you can choose the month that you want to fly in if you know there's a specific month, and you can see all of the days that month and which ones are the cheapest and which ones are the most expensive. And that's going to help you immensely. It's going to save you some time. If you want to travel to a specific destination, you can also look at what flight is close to that destination. Say you're flying from the United States to Europe, you're gonna see that flying to London is gonna be way cheaper than flying to a specific airport in a smaller country where they don't fly directly to the United States. So maybe you can book a flight from said state in the United States to London, and then you can take a train or you can take a different flight to the country that you want to go to. Usually that has been cheaper for me than to book a flight altogether to the place that I want to go to. And you can make the most of it by having an extended layover in London or whatever international airport. And you can stay a couple days there, have a great time, and then also move on to the destination that you want to go to if you have extra time for your travels. If you're short on time, you can just use the same method but look specifically for the place that you want to go to. And Skyskanner is going to have, again, it's going to give you great options of when is the best time to travel in that month, what are all the airline options, and what are all the destination options. Make sure to check that out. I always use them. This isn't sponsored, I just genuinely always use them. And when it comes to flights, you're probably going to want to actually look at middle cost flights. So there's going to be really cheap flights, and these are going to be cutting out all of the luxuries. They're not going to include much luggage allowance. You're not going to get free food on the planes. Your seat's not going to be that comfortable, and there's just not really going to be any accommodation. You're going to save money and you may end up paying for it later. But these flights are going to help you save money if you're not going to be taking a lot of luggage. Trust me, you don't need as much luggage as you think you do. You can travel internationally with just a backpack. I promise you, I've done it, it's possible. You really need a lot less than you think you do. So if you're traveling in your own country, just take a backpack. It's gonna save you in everything, okay? You're not gonna be checking bags. You're not gonna be waiting on that. You're not gonna be losing your bags. It's gonna be on you the whole time. Don't take more than a backpack if you're traveling in the country, or at the most take 2. Then you can take the cheaper flights and you're not gonna be paying for it in checked luggage. And if you're traveling internationally, just pack as light as possible. Those cheaper flights also, they're not going to have free checked bags. So if you really need one, just check. You really need a lot less than you think you do. But if you decide to go the middle cost route, that's probably gonna have at least some luggage included. You're gonna get some food on the planes. and your seat's not gonna be that uncomfortable. But if you really are just traveling with a backpack, you've got granola bars for days and you're ready to go, just take the cheapest flights you can. Just, do a quick Google search, use your street smarts, and make sure it's not a scam. So third thing we're gonna talk about is where to stay when you get there. I haven't stayed in a hotel in I don't know how long. The only times I've ever stayed in one is when there was points available that made the stay free or extremely discounted, or if it was travel for work and the hotel was paid for within the trip. Both because I'm traveling on a budget and I need to save money, and because I genuinely enjoy the experience of staying in hostels or Airbnbs or places where I'm interacting with other guests and other travelers. These types of places aren't just gonna save you money because they're cheaper, they're also gonna save you money because you're gonna get to know other travelers who are already experienced in the area, and they can tell you where to go to get the cheapest groceries, where to go to eat out and save money, where to go to have a great time but not have to spend a ton of money. Getting to know people who are staying where you're staying, it's gonna be an invaluable resource for you. Okay, these people are going to be able to help you do the things that you want to do. You'll probably meet someone who has similar interests as you, and you guys can work together to make the most out of your trip. Really, don't shy away from getting to know people who are doing the same things that you're doing and traveling in the same places you're traveling. So these hostels are a great option if you're going to stay somewhere short term. Hostels can also be a great option for long-term stays. There are lots of hostels out there that'll give you free room and board if you're willing to do some work. So say you work 6 hours a day and then your room and board is taken care of and you get to spend the rest of your time exploring the town or hanging out with the friends that you meet at work or hanging out with other guests who are traveling. And this can be a really great option for cutting down your costs for a long-term stay. Some hostels also have things like bike rentals, which can help with your transportation costs, because biking honestly is becoming one of the best ways to get around from place to place whenever you're traveling. Zach and I went to Paris and the train tickets, the metro tickets were actually kind of expensive. We ended up in an Airbnb that was way outside of town. Wouldn't necessarily recommend that if you're traveling on a budget. It was one of the cheaper Airbnbs, but we ended up paying for it in transportation costs. But we found a really great bike rental system where we were able to rent electric bikes from where we were staying to ride into Paris. And it ended up being a handful of dollars a day instead of, the metro wasn't too much, but it was considerably more expensive. So look at bike rental options, especially electric bikes. If you're wanting to go semi-far distances, those can be a really great option as well. So yeah, look at all of your transportation options. Okay, and for those of you who are looking at staying somewhere for an extended period of time, definitely also check out programs like woofing. I've run into some people over the years who have done that and they loved it. They were recommending it to everybody. So I haven't done that myself, but I've heard great feedback on it. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Also nannying. There are people who go overseas and they'll nanny for a family, and that way your room and board is taken care of and you have a little bit of income to go spend on doing whatever you want to do in the city. So if you're wanting to stay an extended period of time and you really want to not just save money, but not drain your bank account, that can be a really, really great option. And you have built-in community of people who are going to help you get around, be able to give you great advice. They're gonna know how to help you really enjoy your stay as much as you can. Also, if you have a skill that you can offer to someone you're staying with, maybe you can work out a deal with the hotel or hostel or Airbnb that you're staying at. If you're someone who's a content creator, maybe you can get a discount by offering photographs or a little mini commercial if you're a videographer. Whatever skill you have, see if you can utilize it to help you save some money and help you also help the others that are around you. Do them a real genuine favor and offer them photographs that are really going to be valuable to them. If you can offer something to the people that you're staying with, that's gonna go far. That's going to make your experience just that much better because you're helping other people, they can help you in return, and it's just a better experience for everybody. And the fourth and last thing we're gonna talk about is what to do when you get there. First things first, if you haven't guessed it by now, make friends, okay? Make friends with the people that you're staying with. Make friends with random strangers that you see in the street. If you're in Paris, France, and you want to buy a baguette and have a picnic by the Eiffel Tower, stop and talk to the person that you're buying baked goods from. Ask them how their day is. Ask them if they like their job. Ask them what they like about working there, what they think about the tourism industry. Soon enough, you're gonna have a friend. You're gonna have met somebody who's sharing their experience with you, and you're sharing your experience with them, and probably they're gonna have really good advice for you. They're gonna know things that people have done that made a great experience, and they're gonna know the things that people do where they make mistakes and end up spending a lot more money than they needed to. So make friends, talk to people who are working in the tourism industry. That's gonna be a huge help for you. Second, buy groceries, don't go out to eat. If you can have an experience by having a picnic by the Eiffel Tower, great. You saved yourself some coin, you bought groceries, and you didn't buy a 10 euro sandwich from the cafe. Whatever you're doing, you can probably make it cheaper and save yourself a little bit of money. So there are kind of two schools of thought for people who travel and the things they prioritize. Some people really love to buy souvenirs. If you can go light on the souvenirs, you can travel light, and that's gonna save you money on not spending money on luggage. If you really do love to buy souvenirs, try thrifting. Find a thrift store where you can support a local business. It's better for the environment, it's better for your wallet. You can buy maybe some clothes, and when people back home compliment you on your outfit, you can say, hey, thanks, I bought it in Greece. So these souvenirs that you're gonna use and aren't just gonna take up weight in your bag and sit on your mantle collecting dust, these are gonna be more valuable. So maybe pack lighter on your clothes, do some thrifting, that way you're not spending extra money on extra luggage going back. Other people just really love the experience of traveling, and if that's the case, start off by finding a free walking tour. I think Airbnb will usually list free activities that you can do, walking tours, or local things going on in the area that aren't gonna cost a lot of money. So these free walking tours, those are gonna be in the pretty basic mainstream tourist places, and there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is, you're gonna make friends on these walking tours. Get to know the tour guide. He's probably gonna know other things that you can do where you can save money and actually do things that you're interested in and that are personal to you. You're not just gonna be having a generic trip in Europe, you're gonna be having an experience in Europe, doing things that you love. Don't just abandon the things that you love when you travel. Try and find activities revolving around the things that you already love. And then you're gonna meet people who also love those same things, and you're gonna have a really great time. And another thing that I love to do is look at festivals going on wherever I wanna go. Zach and I went to DC for a weekend, and we ended up going on, I guess there was a kite flying festival, but it turned out to be a great thing. It was free, we just showed up, and there was lots of people flying kites and people having picnics and people talking together, laughing together, and I thought it was great. I'm a photographer, so I enjoyed taking photos of everybody and talking to people and asking about where they were from and what's their story, and it was a fantastic time, and all of it was free. We just got to hang out surrounded by all this beauty and all these people, and it was totally free. It didn't cost us a dime. We even packed up some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and just had a picnic there. So that's all I've got for you. I would love to make more videos like these if you guys have more questions that I can answer. So if this ends up being helpful for you, please let me know. I would love to hear about that. I hope that this ends up inspiring you to be able to go on a trip of your own and see things that you've always wanted to see. And if I don't know you in person, in real life, I hope we get to meet up someday. I would love that. So yeah, enjoy your travels, have a great time, and I'll see you around somewhere. Where we were able to rent electric bikes from where we were staying.